Kentucky, Virginia, and West Virginia suffered devastating storms. Over 10 people were killed in Kentucky from this flash flooding. Keir Starmer, where these European nations are figuring out how they are going to respond and check Donald Trump.
Did you hear about Trump's latest Napoleon impersonation? He's been quoting the French emperor saying, "He who saves his country violates no law." Guess who thinks he's saving the country?
Continues to spiral. He's making posts like this, photos of Napoleon with this line that Donald Trump keeps on quoting.
Hint, it's not Biden. But here's the kicker. While Trump's playing dress up, real disasters are happening. Kentucky's underwater, and what's Trump doing? Taking selfies at NASCAR. Talk about priorities. Am I right?
Donald Trump went to a NASCAR, the Daytona 500 event, and then he delayed it at first, and then...
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Remember when Trump's tweets could make the stock market do the cha-cha? Those were the days, huh? Our former president used to rule social media like a king. His every word breaking news faster than you could say kavfif. But now, oh, how the mighty have fallen. These days, Trump's busy playing dress-up and quoting Napoleon. Yeah, you heard that right. The guy who used to brag about his very good brain is now posting pictures of the French emperor and dropping gems like, "He who saves his country violates no law." Looks like someone forgot about that pesky little thing called the Constitution.
Who saves his country violates no law. Donald Trump keeps on posting that statement over and over again, which is attributed to Napoleon.
Maybe he thinks it's just a suggestion. But while Trump's busy channeling his inner Bonaparte, real disasters are happening. Kentucky's underwater, folks. You'd think a former president would be all over that, right? Nope. Our wannabe emperor was too busy taking selfies at NASCAR, because nothing says, "I care about America," like watching cars go zoom in circles.
Dollars, or at least millions of dollars, for these stupid photo ops that he's doing. And then Donald Trump was at the tarmac.
It's like Trump's gone from Twitter tyrant to Daytona dud faster than you can say, "Make America Great Again." His social media game's gone downhill faster than his hair in a strong wind. Remember when his posts used to set the world on fire? Now they're about as exciting as watching paint dry. And let's talk about those engagement rates. They've dropped harder than Trump's approval ratings after suggesting we inject bleach. These days, he's lucky if his posts get more attention than a cat video. It's almost like people have better things to do than hang on his every word. Shocking, I know. But hey, at least he's consistent in one thing, putting himself first. While Kentucky was dealing with devastating floods, Trump was more concerned with promoting his book.
Kentucky, Virginia, and West Virginia suffered devastating storms. Over 10 people were killed in Kentucky from this flash flooding.
And flashing that pearly white smile for the NASCAR cameras. It's like he's playing a game of, how out of touch can I be? And let me tell you, he's winning that game by a landslide. It's gotten so bad that even his own party is starting to wonder if it's time for Grandpa Donald to retire to Mar-a-Lago for good. Can you imagine? The Republicans looking at Trump and thinking, maybe we need someone who doesn't confuse Twitter with actual governing. It's like watching a reality TV show where the star doesn't realize the cameras have stopped rolling. Well, folks, it looks like our favorite orange-tinted troublemaker is getting the cold shoulder from across the pond. Remember when Trump used to strut into European summits like he owned the joint? Those days are long gone, my friends. Now Europe's treating him like that weird uncle no one wants to sit next to at Thanksgiving dinner. Get this. European leaders are having emergency meetings just to figure out how to deal with the possibility of Trump coming back to power.
Photos of Napoleon as European leaders are now holding an emergency summit led by the French President Macron as well as.
It's like they're planning a zombie apocalypse, but instead of the undead, they're worried about the unpresidential. French President Macron and the UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer are leading the charge. And let me tell you, they're not exactly rolling out the red carpet for old Donny.
Keir Starmer, where these European nations are figuring out how they are going to respond and check Donald Trump.
You'd think Trump would try to smooth things over, right? Nah, that's not his style. Instead, he's cooking up a brilliant plan to buddy up with Vladimir Putin. Because nothing says stable genius like cozying up to the guy who's got half of Europe on edge. It's like watching a toddler try to make friends by stealing all the toys. It might work for a minute, but eventually everyone's gonna be mad at you. Europe's not taking this lying down, though. They're cooking up ways to keep Trump in check if he manages to bumble his way back into the White House. It's like they're building a political baby gate to keep him from causing too much trouble. From America first to America who? Zrenia, Европа дава Трамп нов телефон, кой е? Лечение по-бързо отказване кофе. But here's the kicker. Trump's comments about Ukraine have got Europe more nervous than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. They're worried he might try to play peacemaker by handing Ukraine over to Putin on a silver platter.
Because Trump is trying to form the alliance with Vladimir Putin and cut Europe and Ukraine out of negotiations.
It's like he's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube by peeling off all the stickers. Sure, it looks solved, but everyone knows you cheated. So while Trump's busy trying to form his little authoritarian bromance with Putin, Europe's busy fortifying its diplomatic defenses. They're not just sitting around waiting for the Trump tornado to hit. They're building a political storm cellar and stocking it with enough common sense to wait out 4 years of potential madness. Well, folks, it looks like our favorite orange reality TV star is losing his grip faster than a greased-up pig at a county fair. Recent polls show Trump's influence is shrinking, like his hands in cold water. Even his loyal followers are starting to wonder if he's got what it takes to win in 2024. Yikes! But wait, there's more. Our boy Donny's got more legal troubles than a raccoon caught raiding a trash can. These courtroom dramas are stealing the spotlight from his campaign shenanigans. And let's not forget his brilliant plan to use the military against his political rivals. Because nothing says democracy like tanks rolling down Main Street, right?
See it for yourself. If you have a family member who suffers from dementia, that's at least what Trump looks like.
Some experts are whispering that Trump might hang up his MAGA hat for good. Maybe it's time for Grandpa Donald to trade in his Twitter addiction for a nice game of shuffleboard at Mar-a-Lago. Anyone know a good retirement home that allows spray tans and late-night hamburger runs?